you're sleeping on the Discraft Sol, and I'm going to show you why. Look at this. See how long they are? You need to come pick one of these up. Although I'm told this Melita might be the next disc for me. Is that right, Chris?
Definitely could be. Sure.
So, all my disc golf buddies are either out of town, just had babies, or just aren't available. So, I thought I'd take this opportunity to get out in the field and mindlessly throw some discs. And show you what a Discraft Sol does in case you're not sure. So I don't know a lot of people that throw a Sol. It's a 4-speed. I actually don't know the numbers on it, but I think it's a 4-speed. Yeah, 4-speed, 5-glide, -3 turn, and a 0 fade. And I think it throws a lot of people off because it's like got a profile that's not very typical of the discs that we use. It's not a destroyer, right? Or a buzz. It feels a lot different, a very narrow rim. I think a lot of people stay away from it because of that. This thing can kind of bomb. I don't throw very far. I throw about 300 feet. Give me a Mamba, and if you give me just the right wind, I might get it like 340. But this guy goes just about as far. Look how straight that thing goes, man. Just a straight flyer. And that's right at about 300 feet. I used a tech disc not too long ago. It was in a shop. What was that? Mellow, I think it was, but it's in St. Louis. It's like Mellow Disc Golf. Anyway, those guys were awesome, and I got to use a tech disc in there. I throw about 50 miles an hour, and I was struggling to get more than 50 miles an hour, but I'm throwing a 4-speed, 300 feet. Has a lot to do with the disc. Got that one turned over a little bit. That is the negative, I guess you could say, to a flippy disc is they're testy. So if you throw them a little bit on the wrong angle, it's going to go a lot of bit the wrong way. Man, I probably should have warmed up. All right, I think I'm good now. A little left, but plenty of distance. Still getting around that 300-foot mark. I want to see if I can get one to the middle of that end zone. If I can get to the middle of the end zone, that's an extra, what, 5 yards? So 15 feet, 315. That was pretty good. Oh, it's inside the end zone. These are all ESP soles. I like the way they feel. ESP is my favorite plastic. See, I put that on hyzer and it just rides. Again, about that 95-yard mark. It felt pretty good. A little shorter, but felt good. Again, 95 yards. I feel like this one doesn't go quite as far for some reason. Oh man, that's such a pretty shape though. It didn't go as far. I don't know, about as far, 90, 95 yards. What a pretty shape though. This 4-speed really allows you to shape it a little bit. You just got to get used to throwing that hyzer and let it flip up. Look at that. It's so pretty. Again, about 300 or more. That might be the furthest one. These are some 5-time Page Pierce soles. They're Z plastic. Give that one a little more hyzer and swung it out. Again, still getting that 300 feet. I picked up a Sol on the course. It was the first time I found one that didn't have a name on it. I was like, man, this just feels and looks weird. And I threw it and I loved it. I would have never bought that disc off a shelf. Just with the way discs are made these days and the way they look, the way they feel, the Discraft Sol just doesn't feel the same as those discs. And so I would not have bought that disc. So thanks to whoever lost your Sol at Lincoln Ridge, however many years ago it's been, and you didn't write your name on it, I got to throw it and keep it. And now I throw a Sol for life, man. I'm a Sol for life. All right, so everything kind of landed in this area here, a little more than 95 yards, 285 feet. A couple of them, well, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 of them made it into the end zone, which is great. You gotta be committed to that hyzer angle because it is gonna flip up. And if you can commit to a hyzer, I think you're maximizing your distance. And as an old man myself who doesn't throw very far or doesn't have a fast arm, it helps me get a little extra distance, even though it's just a 4-speed. I'm gonna do one more round with the soles, and then I want to show you a comparison in throwing some higher speed discs and how much of a difference it does or doesn't make. There it is. That's a good throw. A little right of the hash mark, but I mean, oh man, that might have went out the back. That was a good one. That was a good one. Oh, look at that. That's a beaut. It's bending to the right more than I'd hoped, but man, pretty flight. All right, for some comparison now, I'm going to go to another understable disc, being the Maverick. It's a 7-speed. I just threw a sole all the way to the back of the end zone, which is 310 yards. So 330 feet with a 4-speed. Right in the middle of the end zone. I would say it's probably a little bit easier power, like easier distance. Not much. So I'm trying to throw it pretty hard. That's what I get for throwing hard. Let's see how far it goes at least. Wrong direction. That is probably the furthest one though. Okay, so now we've got TeeBirds. TeeBirds more stable for sure. 9 speeds, so a little faster. This is just a Star, I don't know how well you can see that, but Star TeeBird. I try to throw that flatter because I know it's stable. Guess what? 300 feet. Okay, this is my most stable one. This is, I just learned it's called a 3-line AJ TeeBird from my in the bag video. It's probably only gonna go like 60 yards. Yeah, I just don't have a flat enough, low enough nose angle to throw that thing far. That's probably my best throw yet as far as control. And guess what? 300 feet. Those soles will go super far, and I can control them even with my nose angle not being amazing. These are, what are they called? Centurions. I feel like they're like a TeeBird. I don't know, I haven't looked them up. But they have a really cool stamp on them. That's why I bought them. You guys ever just buy discs just because they look cool? Guilty. Ah, a little too low to get anything out of it, but of course it's gonna skip like 100 feet. It's getting kind of hot out here. And I don't like throwing in a field, ever. If I'm throwing discs, the last place I wanna throw them is in a field where there's no baskets. How do you guys get motivated to do that? John, my friend John on the channel, I think he likes practicing more than he likes playing. Help me understand that. I don't get it. All right, look at that. That's probably the furthest I've ever thrown a sole. That kind of makes my point. I'm almost 330 feet with a sole, and I throw max 50 miles an hour. So if you have nose problems and you don't like getting out in the field and fixing it, just throw a sole. I definitely should have brought a bag with me today. All right, a little post-practice recap from the van, my favorite vehicle. If you have a slower arm like me, 50 miles an hour is kind of where I am. Maybe a little faster if I'm really warmed up, but I tend to not warm up. So it's probably about 50 miles an hour. Throw some slower, flippier discs. My disc of choice, of course, is the Sol. And if I want to step it up, I go to the Maverick. And those are kind of the discs I throw. If you want to know more about my bag, you should check out my in the bag video. And it'll tell you all the discs I throw, because I do throw a lot more than just Sols and Mavericks. But for control and distance and just getting that flip up line, I can throw a Sol just about as far as I can throw a Mamba. And I think I said it earlier, but if you don't get out and practice to fix your nose angle like me, One good way to get around that and still have fun playing disc golf, guys, is throw flippier stuff, because it's a lot more forgiving on those nose angles. So anyway, I hope this helps out or gives you a little insight to maybe trying out a different disc. In my case, it's a Discraft Sol all day. Hey guys, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. We got a lot of fun videos, and I would love for you to see them. Check it out. See you next time on Disc Up Disc Golf.